Ask Reddit people who grew up rich but turned out poor. What is your story? Subscribe or I'll end humanity. My dad owned several very successful radio stations, then sold them all for several million while all the mega media companies were buying them up. We lived very comfortably for a while with a nice house and a vacation home right on the slopes of a major Colorado ski resort. He married a gold digger. Unfortunately, he bought it all with money that relied on tech stocks. Then the dot-com bubble burst. We lost everything. He tried to sue his broker for bad advice, but only won about $200,000. He then declared bankruptcy and lost everything again. Our house sold for half of its worth. I have no idea what happened to the vacation home, but I assume something similar. His wife divorced him, monsieur. My dad, brother, and I all split up to try to make it on our own. He ended up couch surfing with my mom's family while he got a real estate license. He is still paying alimony. My brother and I put ourselves through school and we both have reasonable jobs now and are doing alright. My grandparents were very wealthy, so they bought my parents a house and basically supported my family, even paying for my school tuition. I wasn't aware of this. Because of this, my parents were lazy and never really had jobs. They were always at home and I didn't find any of this unusual. We had extravagant vacations and I remember being given everything I'd ever asked for. But my grandpa died when I was about 10. Grandma following suit soon after, and all his kids started fighting over the money. I'm pretty sure they're still fighting. Anyway, soon half the lights in our house didn't work. Our TVs were all broken and our cars broken down and barely usable. I was wearing the same uniform all throughout high school, and as a teenager I wore nothing but hand-me-downs. My allowance decreased instead of increased year by year. There were no more vacations, but my parents wasted the rest of their savings on appearing rich, buying fancy jewelry and clothes for themselves and shit, racking up credit card debt. Then they'd host parties for friends in expensive restaurants and I'd feel so angry because back home we'd be eating nothing but canned food. It honestly scarred me so much that my only goal is to become financially stable. And I plan to stay employed without ever retiring because I don't want to be like them. Jobless and stupid. Well, not exactly rich, but my family was making a fair sum when I was a kid. Then there were mass layoffs and now we live paycheck to paycheck. It's not that we don't make enough money, it's just that my parents, with all the respect, are financial imbeciles. On the bright side, seeing them as an example of what not to do, I learned everything there is to learn about personal finance and a fair bit about business. On the stupid side, I've repeatedly explained to my parents all the necessary steps for them to get out of their financial problems, but as my mom put it, if I can't spend my money, then what's the point in even working? Like, seriously. Woman, you can spend your money but not *seeking all of it. P.S. Sorry for the rant, had to get that off my chest. Parents quit a good job cause my dad got tired of the daily repeating pattern. It bored him too much to spend his life on it. Dad went to jail for housing fraud in 2010. I was in my teens and $10 million were seized. Went from $800,000 house to homeless in 4 days because our family didn't even know we'd been in court for 2 years. We were really well off in Korea until we moved to America. It seemed like a piece of cake for a family like Maine to start life anew with enough financial backings. My father had worked hard for his family. In the first 2 years of our life in America, my parents were scammed by shady Korean immigration lawyers. Twice. Blew all of their savings and emergency funds. We started from rock bottom again. I remember skipping 2 meals a day so we could have food to go around everyone. I also remember pulling the plug on the refrigerator because what's the fucking point if there's nothing in it? We don't look back or talk about those times anymore. Not me, but my ex. Her family owned a retail business and was fairly wealthy. At some point I think the number I was given was about $30 mil. I repeatedly suggested that they set some money aside. I'm not an expert, but small businesses can go under in the blink of an eye, and it just made sense that they put away some savings just in case. Every time I brought it up I was told that I was being stupid and that real business owners don't save anything. They invest all of their earnings back into their business. Eventually I stopped bringing it up so they'd stop making me feel like shit for being concerned. And eventually after that our relationship ended. Last I spoke to her they were in the process of losing everything. The rise of online retail had absolutely ruined them, monsieur.